Hi everyone and welcome to week 3 of entry level 1 English. So yeah, entry level 1 English, week 3. And hello, hi, how are you? I hope you're well. I hope you've had a good week. I hope you're all safe and staying safe. So this week we have a lot to cover as usual. This week we are going to review and revise what we did last week. First of all, one moment, let me just pause, there's a knock at the door. Sorry, there was a knock at the door. It was my daughter. Okay, so this week we're going to review and look at what we did last week, which is alphabet, our spelling test. We're going to do the spelling test. We're going to review very briefly the present simple tense positives, okay? And then we're going to learn and look at some new things this week. So these are our objectives. New spelling words for next week's test. So you're going to have some new words to learn. And we're going to look at the present simple tense with negatives and how we form the negative in the present simple tense. Okay, so that's what we're going to do today. That's our objectives for today. Okay, those are today's objectives. Right, I'm just going to... Okay, so just a very quick look at the alphabet again, just to make sure that you're getting this right. Most of you now are getting this right, but there's a couple of you who usually we get muddled with the vowels, don't they? These are called the vowels, and they are A, E, I, O, U. A, E, I, O, U. These are called our vowels, and these are the ones that most people get muddled when they're spelling out loud, when they're spelling a word. They get confused with this A-E-I usually, A-E-I. Okay, but these are our vowels, so practice them, A-E-I-O-U. And then the other ones are called our consonants. And they're the other letters, so B, C, D, F, G, H, J, K, L, M, N, P, Q, R, S, T, V, W, X, Y, Z. So A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, and Z. So just keep practicing that for me, okay? It's really important you keep practicing it because you will need to... Can you see the bottom there? Yeah, you can just about. You will need to be able to spell things in your exams as well as in real life. If you're spelling a form on the phone, if somebody asks you, how do you spell your name? You're going to have to say these letters and say them correctly. So keep learning, keep spelling, keep checking that you can pronounce them, that you're saying them correctly. Especially these ones here, A, E, I, and Y, we often get wrong as well. So keep practicing. Listen to what I'm saying. Copy me, okay? So keep doing those. Okay, so now we're going to have our spelling test. So you should have learnt the words from last week. Okay, so last week we looked at some common verbs, common action words that we use, and I asked you to learn 10 of them, make sentences with them, and to learn them for this test, for this spelling test. So I'm going to read out the words now, and I want you to write them down on paper for me. So listen and write down the word and see how many out of 10 that you get right. How many do you get right? Let's see. So number 1, live. I live in Wilton. Live. So write down live. How do you spell live? Number 2, work. I work in Salisbury. Work. How do you spell work? Number 3, play. I play tennis on Sundays. I play tennis on Sundays. Play. Number 4, visit. I visit my parents at the weekend. I visit my parents at the weekends. Visit. Visit. How do you spell visit? Number 5, drive. I drive a Seat Ibiza. Drive. How do you spell drive? Number 6, travel. I travel to work by car. Travel. How do you spell travel? Number 7, bake. I love to bake cookies. Bake. How do you spell bake? Number 8, cook. I cook fresh meals every day. Cook. How do you spell cook? Number 9, eat. I eat too much. I eat too much. Eat. How do you spell eat? And number 10, read. I read horror books or crime books. I read a lot. Read. How do you spell read? Okay, that's your 10 spellings. I'm just going to pause and get them up on the board and then you can check how well you did. Okay, let's have a look at these and see how you did. So, number 1, live. L-I-V-E. L-I-V-E. Number 2, work. W-O-R-K. Work. Say the words with me. Pronounce these words with me. Number 3, play. P-L-A-Y. Number 4, visit. V-I-S-I-T. Visit. Number 5, drive. D-R-I-V-E. Number 6, travel. T-R-A-V-E-L. Travel. Number 7, bake. B-A-K-E. Bake. Number 8, cook. C-O-O-K. Cook. Number 9, eat. E-A-T. And number 10, read. R-E-A-D. So how did you do? How many did you get out of 10? Let me know. Tell me. Tell me how many you got. How many did you show me in your homework? How many you got? Okay, I'm just going to pause and get rid of this. Okay, so up here we've just got some reminders of the present simple from last week that we did. So present simple positives. Positive. So in the positive, in the plus. So we use the present simple to talk about facts or truths in the present, things that are true now. Routines and habits, okay, things that we do regularly, all the time, often, 2 times a week, at the weekends, on Sundays. And things that are always true, always, always true. We use the present simple for those things. So, for example, I have 2 children. This is a fact in the present. This is true now. I have 2 children. I run 3 times a week. This is a habit, a routine, something I do. 3 times a week I go for a run. London is the capital city of England. Things that are always true. London will always be the capital city of England. I live in Wilton. Truths and facts in the present, things that are true now in the present. I work at Tesco's. Facts, truths in the present. I travel to work by car. Facts, truths in the present. And remember, these are our verbs. I have, I run, is from the verb to be. Live, work and travel. These are our verbs. And here's my prepositions: in, at and by. I live in a place, in Salisbury, in Wilton, in Southampton, in Amesbury, in Bournemouth, in Birmingham, in Manchester. I work at the name of a company, at Nicholl and Harris, at Tesco's, at Alert Training UK, at Sainsbury's. I travel to work by car, by bus, by plane, by train. Okay? So this is our present simple. This is why we use it. We talked about this last week, okay? To talk about facts and truths and routines and habits. And we have our subject, I, or London here, plus our verb, don't we? Okay? Just going to pause a minute and get rid of this. Okay, so just a quick recap again from last week. Just a quick review to make sure that it's staying in here. So remember, we have the base form of the verb. The base form of the verb. So to go, to play, to do, to have, to be, to like, to travel, to eat. Okay, the base form of the verb. Now that changes when we come to the present simple. So our subject, I, you, he, she, it, you, plural, you singular, they and we. Present simple tense, go, I go, you go, he, she, it goes. We add that es, remember, with he, she and it. Es with go. You go, they go, we go to work on Saturdays. I go to work on Saturdays. Okay, so go, we add es. Play, what do? We add s. I play. You play. He, she, it plays. So we add s for he, she, it. Yes, remember from last week, we add the s. Most of the verbs we add just s. But some es, some change, etc. But most of them just s, okay? So, he, she, it plays. Do. Now, I don't know whether we covered do, so I'm just going to show you. Do, we add es again. Does. Okay, so I do the washing on Sunday. And he, she, it does. The rest of them are do. 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 So go becomes goes, play becomes plays, do becomes does. Pronunciation does. She does the washing on Sundays. Okay. Have becomes has. I have, you have, he, she, it has. Get rid of the V and the E and we put an S. He has 2 children. I have 2 children. He has 2 children. So go, goes, play, plays, do, does, have, has. Be, that's the one we need to remember because be changes a lot, doesn't it? What does it change to? Can you remember? I am. You are. He, she, it is. You are, they are, we are. Lots of R's. But I am and he, she, it is. And that can be I'm, you're, he's, you're, there, and we're. Okay, so remember this, yes? Remember, be changes in the present simple. I am, you are, he, she, it is. I am 47, you are 47, he is 47. Like, we just add s. Just s for like. I like, you like, he, she, it likes. Okay? So it's really important that you remember when we're talking about the present simple tense, the positives, usually we just add s for he, she, it. Okay? But go, we add es, do, es, have becomes has, and be is, am, and are. Am, is, are, those ones, okay? So we did this last week, so go back over next week if you've forgotten. Try to always be practicing, remembering, okay? because you need to make sure that you remember that when it changes for he, she, it. With be, it changes with I as well. Okay? And there are some other ones that add IES. I don't want to go into too many of those at the moment. We'll come across them as we go along. But generally, if you add S to the verb with he, she, it, then you're pretty safe. To talk about facts, truths, things that are true now in the present, and routines and habits. Okay. Okay, so this week we have a new spelling list. Okay, so we've done our spellings from last week, you've done your test, and we've had a quick recap of last week, present simple tense, and some of those prepositions as well. So this week we have new words for you to learn for next week's test. So this week, our new words that you need to learn are the days of the week, okay, which we think are easy, but they're very difficult to spell, some of them, really, really difficult. So, you'll have to really practice these. So, Monday, Monday. That one's not so bad, Monday. Number 2, Tuesday. This is a really difficult one to spell, Tuesday. Tuesday, Tuesday. Number 3, Wednesday, Wednesday. Very difficult to spell because this D is a silent D. You can't hear this D. Wednesday. 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 Number 4, Thursday. 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 Number 5, Friday. 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 Number 6, Saturday. 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 And number 7, Sunday. Sunday. Okay, so those are your spellings for this week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. So some of these, Sunday, Friday, Monday, they're okay, not so bad, quite easy. But Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, much more difficult to spell. So really, really practice them. What I want you to do, I want you to learn these words and I want you to write 7 sentences using these words. So 7 sentences using these words. And I want you to write them in the present simple. So, for example, I go swimming on Mondays. Okay, for example, I go swimming on Mondays. And remember, we put an S when we're talking in present simple because we do it every Monday. Every Monday, so we put Mondays. Okay? So I want you to make 7 sentences, present simple, with those 7 words. So talking about routines and habits, okay? Talking about routines and habits, practicing your present simple. I play snooker on Thursdays, etc. So that'll help you to learn the spelling as well. So learn the spelling, write 7 sentences for me, okay? So that's part of your homework to do that, all right? Okay, so let's have a look at the present simple tense in the negative form. So when we're talking in a negative sentence. So we use the verb to do to make a negative sentence in the present simple tense. So if we look at one of our present simple tense sentences, positive, I have 2 children. Okay, I have 2 children. To make that negative, we must add do not. I do not have. So we keep the same verb and the verb stays the same, have, but we just add do not before. I do not have 2 children. Now it's a common mistake just to say I not, but that's incorrect. We must say I do not have. And this can be shortened to don't. Don't. Do not becomes don't when we are speaking. If we're writing formally a proper letter, we would say do not. But when we're speaking, we say don't. Do not, which is shortened to don't. I don't have 2 children. You eat fish. You do not eat fish. Okay, so the eat stays there, but we put do not in front. You don't eat fish. Do not, don't. You don't eat fish. Now for I and you and they and we, this is our form. It changes slightly for he, she, it, obviously. So I'm just going to show you that now. We're going to have a look at some examples. Okay, so have a look on the board here for me. So we've got our positive present simple sentence. I play tennis. I don't play tennis. I do not play tennis. Our negative. So here's our positive and here's our negative. I don't play tennis. I do not. I don't. Here's our positive. You play tennis. Our negative. You don't play tennis. Do not. Don't play tennis. Now notes here. He, she and it. He plays tennis. Remember we add the S for he, she, it in the present simple. And then in the negative, we also add an S, but we add it to the do. So it becomes he does not play. This goes back to play, the base form of the verb. No S here. The S goes into the do. He does not play tennis. Or shortened, he doesn't play tennis. So we've got the base form of the verb here, always with negative. Okay, the base form of the verb with the negative, so there's no S for he here. And there's no S because we put that into the do, so it becomes does. So I do not, you do not, he does not play. Doesn't. Okay, don't, doesn't. They play tennis, they don't play tennis, we don't play tennis. So in the negative, it's the base form of the verb, but before that we put do not or does not for he, she, it. That's really important, and so many people get this wrong. It's really important to practice that because so many people get that wrong. It's a big mistake to make. So I don't play tennis. He doesn't play tennis. Okay, I'm just going to put a few more examples on the board. Okay, so you can see here we've got our present simple positive. He lives in Bournemouth. So with he, she, it becomes he doesn't live. So we get the doesn't, does not live in Bournemouth. And the lives goes back to the base form of live. So the negative is always do plus not plus base form, or does plus not plus base form verb. Okay, so you've got do plus not plus base form of verb, or does plus not plus base form of verb. For I, you, he, she, except for I, you, they, we, and for he, she, and it, does plus not. Okay, so I live, I don't live. Okay, I do not, I don't live. He lives, he doesn't live. Remember, that goes back to that base form verb after the does not or the do not. Okay, now this is fine for most of our verbs, okay, but not for be. So I'm just going to show you what happens with the verb to be. Okay, with the verb be, we do not use do. So with the others in the negative, other verbs in the negative, we put do in front of it. Do not, does not, don't, doesn't, but not with the verb be. We stay with that verb be, we keep it, and we just add not. So, but this is very complicated because there are many different ways that we say it. I am hungry. I am hungry. Very hungry. I am not hungry. So you can see our not just goes in here after the verb to be and before the rest of our sentence. So we've got I am, and then we just put not in. Okay? I am not hungry. Not I do not am, or I do not be hungry. I don't be hungry. That's incorrect. So it's very different with be. Okay? I am not hungry. And we shorten this to I'm not hungry. I'm not hungry. And that's how we shorten it. I am not, I'm not. I am 47, I'm not 47. I'm English, I'm not English. Okay? I am not becomes I'm not. Okay, so you are American. You are not. So we just pop this not in here. Okay, no do anywhere. No, that's for the other verbs. Okay, for the other verbs, do. For be, no do. Just put not in. You are not American. Now, we shorten this to, both of these are correct. Some people will say you aren't American. You are not. You aren't American. Aren't. Some people will say you're not American. You are not. You're not. Both are correct. Both are okay to say. I tend to say you're not rather than you aren't. But they're both correct, so you can choose. But I think maybe this is more common. Because this one we always say I'm not. That's the only way we shorten, I'm not. And this is more similar because we're contracting the you are to you're not. You're not American. You are Polish, you're not Polish, you're not. But you can say you aren't. Both are correct. But I would say that a lot of people probably say you're not. Okay, I'm just going to show you the rest. Okay, so just up on the board here, so he, she and it obviously is with be. She is a teacher. She is not a teacher. So again, we've got that not that we put in there. She is not a teacher. And we can shorten this to she isn't a teacher. She is not, she isn't. Or she's not, she is not, she's not. Both are correct. Again, I think the best thing is for you to choose what you prefer. I always tend to go, she's not, rather than she isn't. But both are correct, and some people will say she isn't, and some people will say she's not. Both are okay. So I think maybe you choose one that you find easiest to say and use that one yourself. But both are correct, so you should learn both really. So she is not a teacher. She is not a teacher. She isn't a teacher. She's not a teacher. Like I said, both are correct. Here we've shortened the she is. Here we've shortened the is not. So they are students. They are not students. So again, we've just put that not in. And again, we can shorten to they aren't students or they're not students. They're not students. They aren't students, they're not students. Both are correct. And with we as well, we aren't students, we're not students. So all of those are correct. You can use whichever, and you will hear British people and English people using both. And American people use both as well. I think Americans probably use maybe isn't and aren't more than British people maybe. But if you remember with be, in the negative, we just add not after the verb form of be. So I am not, you are not, he is not, she is not, it is not, you are not, they are not, we are not. And then we shorten it, I'm not, you're not, he's not, they're not, we're not. Or you can say she isn't, you aren't, they aren't, we aren't. It's your choice. It's very complicated, isn't it? Very complicated because you will hear English people using both. Yeah, so you might hear English people using both of them, and some English people will use this, some people use this. Both are correct. I mean, I think I use this one more. She's not, they're not, we're not, I'm not, you're not. I use that one more where we say the not. I'm not hungry. I'm not thirsty. He's not tired. He's not angry. He's not angry. He isn't angry. Both are correct. Okay, so with negatives, really complicated. Most of the verbs, we add that do or does. I live in Salisbury. I do not live in Salisbury. He lives in Salisbury. He doesn't live in Salisbury. So do not plus base form. Does not plus base form. But with be, we just add not after the verb, the present simple verb of be, we add not. And then we can shorten them. Just to make life difficult. Yeah, so I think we've gone over everything I wanted to go over in the video. So I've looked at negatives. I'm now going to give you practice. So I'm going to send you some exercises. Well, attached to this email are some exercises in the negative to practice. So I want you to practice the negative in both with do and does and with the verb to be. So I'll send you some worksheets, some exercises to practice that. And then I'm going to get you, I'm also sending you with this email attached, is a reading exercise. So it's a short piece of reading. You have to read it, answer some questions about that reading, and then you have to write a little bit in the present simple about your friend or your family. So just a little paragraph, a little piece about a friend or a family member. So you look at the reading and then you copy something similar. You use that to help you do your writing. And you can use present, you need to use present simple tense. You can use positive and negative. You will see in the reading that will give you an example. Okay, so to do, let me just get it up on the board. Okay, so your homework. Practice your alphabet. Always practice. A, E, I, O, U, A, B, C, D. Practice, practice. Get really good, really quick, really good pronunciation. Practice your present simple tense positive from last week. Keep practicing that. I live, he lives, she lives. Keep practicing, okay? Learn your new spellings, the days of the week. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. Write 7 sentences with those words. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Write 7 sentences in the present simple tense. PST, present simple tense. Write 7 sentences on I go to the gym on Tuesdays. Okay, practice. 7 sentences, please, in the present simple tense. He works on Sundays. Okay, example. Learn the present simple negative. Okay, so do the worksheets that I'm sending you. Do the worksheets to practice the present simple negative. Do the reading task that I send you, which is in the present simple. Do the writing task that I send you, which is also in the present simple. Organise a video call, so make sure you organise a call with me so we can do a video chat. And then looking at next week we're going to be doing questions in the present simple tense. So we're going to be looking at how to form questions in the present simple tense. So we've looked at positive statements, we're looking at negatives this week. Next week we're going to be looking at questions in the present simple tense. Okay? Right, I think that's everything. It's a lot, I know. But I look forward to talking to you all, and I hope you have a great week. And remember to get this back to me in 1 week. You have 7 days. 7 days to complete your work. So get it done. Learn, practice, keep practicing, keep going over and over. This is the only way you can get better, is by practice, practice, practice. Okay, I'll see you all in a week. Take care. Bye.